Okay, so this is the day one of Python data science with Python course. Okay, so these are the topics that we will cover today. First is what is data science? Okay, and second is importance of data science, and third one is application of data science, and fourth is Python role in data science, and then we will cover history and popularity of Python. So, and at last we will install the Python in your system. Okay. So first is what is data science, or it is also called a data science. Okay. So data analysis is the process of collecting and organizing data in order to draw helpful conclusion from it. Okay. So what is data analysis? It is the process of and collecting and organizing data. So first step will be what? Collecting the data, and next we will organize the data. Okay, so collecting data. So how can we collect the data? So if you talk about Facebook or Google, so how you can you can notice that in Facebook there are trillions of data is generating. So if you are connecting with any of friends, and if you are if you are liking any video, or if you are clicking on any link, then these all are actually the data that are getting generated by your activities. So if you are working in any organization, then you have data of customers, and if you are working in any finance department, then you have data of your clients, and their credit card activity, their financial activity. So these data are getting generated by our daily lives. Okay, so the first step is collecting data. So this collecting data is automatically generated by our activities, and the second is organizing data. That is the data analysis part. So when we have data, then we can perform analysis on that data. So how can we perform the analysis? That is basically done by the data analysis. Am I Is this clear, everyone? Okay, next, what is the importance of data analysis? Okay, so before studying the data analysis, it is important that first we need to know the importance of data analysis. Okay, so first is beta targeting. So by data analysis, we can perform beta targeting. So what is beta targeting? It means that suppose if you have a new product. Okay, so suppose that if you are a car manufacturer company, so by the data analysis, you can predict which customers should you target. Okay, suppose that previously some customer has bought any product from you, and if your company has released any new product, then you can predict by previous data which customer should I target for that car. Okay, so by data analysis, you can perform beta targeting. So if suppose that you are not using data analysis, then suppose that I don't like a car of any different company. So if you are targeting me any product that I am not liking, then your amount will get wasted. Okay, so if you have data analysis, you have performed data analysis, and you know that this customer what this customer likes, and based on that you can perform better marketing, better targeting. Okay, so second is knowing your target customers. So these two things are related. Know your target customer. Similarly, if you have previous data, then you can perform you can find the better target. So suppose that lots of data is getting generated, and based on that, if you if you can find any company that can give you data, so based on that data you can perform that, you can find the target customers. Okay. And third one is new innovations. Okay. So suppose that if you have created any product and customer are not liking it. Okay. So based on that data you can perform what should you build in a new in your company, what changes you can perform, uh, what innovative product you can bring for your customers. Okay. So because you have the data of customer, and with the help of the data analysis you can predict what should be the new product for our company. So that will be called as new innovation. So data analysis also help us in new innovations. Okay. Now fourth one is cut cost of products operation. So suppose that if you are not performing any data analysis and you are running a big company, so basically if you are running a big company, then you are investing lots of money in different products and different areas. Suppose that you are using money in sales, marketing, and then manufacturing. So if you are performing the data analysis, you can analyze which factors, by which factors you are getting more, which factors are more important for your company. Okay. Suppose that if your sales is not working in the good direction, then by with the help of data analysis you can check which area is not performing well. Okay. So and if that area is not performing well, you can modify that area, or you can close that area, or means some changes you can perform. Okay. So this will cut the cost of operation. Now the next step is help help solve problems. Okay. So suppose that if your organization is facing any problem, some of your area is not working very well, or your if your product is not getting sold, so with the help of data analysis you can identify what are the factors that causing us damage. Okay. So this will help you solving problems in your organization. So that's why data analysis is important. Okay. So now we will see application of data analysis in different fields. Okay. So first is retailers. So retailers are what? They are they sold products of different companies. Okay. So what retailers can do with the data analysis? So basically retailers use data analysis to understand their customer needs and buying habits, to predict trends, recommend new product, and boost their business. Okay. So suppose that if you are running a mega mart. Okay. And if you are running a mall or mega mart, then you have customer registered with your mega mart. Okay. And your shop. Then with the previous habits of your customer you can analyze that what is the buying habits of our customer. So suppose that if a new product comes to your shop, then you can target by data analysis. So you can target that product to the particular customers based on the data analysis to market your products. Okay. So this will help you. First it will save the amount to market, to advertise your product. Second one is it will increase your revenue. Okay. So it will increase your sales. So second is healthcare. So industries analyze patient data to provide life-saving diagnosis and treatment options. They also deal with healthcare plans, insurance information to derive key insights. So suppose that what healthcare companies can do with the data analysis. So suppose that we have patient data. Okay, previous patient data. So if suppose that if any new disease come, okay, if any new disease comes, then with the help of previous data you can predict. So what suppose that if any new disease has come, then you have no medicine, you have no treatment, but you have data of previous disease. Suppose that if this disease is like some another disease, then you can identify which what should be the potential treatment of this disease. Okay, so you can take the example of coronavirus. Okay, so we had previously lots of information about some viruses that were like the coronavirus. Okay, so based on that information, companies started predicting what should be the treatment for this disease. Okay, so these are, and not only treatment, you can also predict the health. You can also target the customer. So if you are treating patient like customer, then you can target which patient should you provide the insurance plan. Suppose that if you have the data of patient and you know that he has any disease, then you can use your insurance plans for them. So these are the things these are the things where healthcare systems use data analysis. So third one is manufacturing. So sectors can discover new cost saving and revenue opportunity. Okay, and they can solve complex supply chain issues, labor constraint, and equipment breakdowns. So, so what is manufacturing? Manufacturing is a company that basically build products like car manufacturing and steel manufacturing. So these sectors are also using data analysis. So in which area they are using data analysis? So for cost saving. So I told you previously that based on the based on the previous information and and the operational information of sales, marketing, manufacturing, you can predict where can we save the cost. Okay, so based on the data analysis, you can analyze which area can we save the money. Okay, so by this way you can increase your revenue. So these are the fields. So these are the options by which we can use data analysis in manufacturing. And again, we have supply chain issues. So suppose that if we had different location to supply our products, okay, then how can we identify which supply chain is most important for us? Okay, so based on the data analysis, we can identify which supply chain is most important for us, which supply chain we are getting we are getting more revenue. So these things we can do with the data analysis. So fourth one is banking. So banking, basically this area is the most prominent area which use data analysis. Okay, so banking, in which institution gather and access large volumes of data to derive analytics insight and make sound financial decisions. They find out probable loan defaulters, customer churn out rate, and detect fraud in transactions. So suppose that you have lots of customers. Okay, in banking you have lots of customers, and if you suppose that you have millions of customers, so you cannot identify without data analysis which area in which area there are fraud transactions. So because we have lots of data, we cannot do it. So these in the banking, they basically use data analysis techniques to identify the loan frauds. And also, suppose that if you have taken any credit card, okay, so then bank have has the information. So bank has the information what is in which area you are expending your money. Okay, so suppose that you are going to any shop and you are buying any product. So suppose that you are buying any Puma shoes. So then the banks can understand. So you are liking any product, and uh, they can combine with these companies, and they can recommend new product of this company to you. Okay, so these are the things banks can do with the data analysis. And also financial decisions can be taken with the help of data analysis. Suppose that if so financial decisions, suppose that if the if the banking system want to add a new product. Okay, so these decisions can be taken with the help of data analysis, means which area can be profiting. Okay, so with the help of data analysis, the bank can identify. And again we have logistics. So logistics, customer use data analysis to develop new business model, optimize routes, improve productivity and order processing capabilities, as well as performance management. So optimize routes, suppose that you have three routes. Okay, so if you means suppose that you have lots of routes. Okay, and if you want to export any product from one route to another, then you can use data analysis which route can be sought, and by which route can we save money for the transportation of data, sorry, transportation of goods. Okay, and also you can improve productivity and performance management. So these are the things that we can perform in the logistics. Is this clear, everyone? Now next thing is importance of Python in data science. First thing is there are many programming language, okay, so that are utilized by data scientists like Python, R, C++, but Python holds a unique place among all. I will explain why Python is most useful in data science. Okay, second is you will amazed to realize that major online platforms, for example, Google, Dropbox, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify, uses Python for major work of data and data science. Okay, so we'll see why we use Python for data and science. Okay, first we will go to the history of Python for that. So Python was initially designed by, okay, so you have any doubt? So, okay, so Dropbox is basically a company. Okay, so Dropbox basically allows you to share files. Okay, so if you have heard about Google Drive, similarly there we have Dropbox. So we can store files and share files in Dropbox. Okay, and next is, so first we will come to the history of Python. Okay, so it was initially designed by Budawan Rasam in 1991 and developed by Python Software Foundation. So you can see that Python is almost 30 years old. Okay, so and it was designed by Budawan Rasam. Okay, so this is the man. It was mainly developed for emphasis on code readability. Code readability means if you see the Python code, you will see that you can easily understand the code. So that's why that's why it is mentioned that it was mainly developed for emphasis on code readability. Okay, and next thing is express concepts in fewer line of codes. Okay, so when you will see the Python code, you will notice that Python codes are really very short. Okay, so if you write code similar, if you write code in different programming language for similar purpose, then you will see that uh, the line Python will take less number of lines of code than any other programming language. So that is the good thing about Python. Second is Python is widely used general purpose. So what is general purpose programming language? It means that you can use Python in any area. If you want to use Python in web development, or suppose that if you want to use Python in data analysis, writing software, artificial intelligence, scientific computing, so these things you can do with the Python. That's why it is called a general purpose programming language. If you talk about PHP, then PHP has major role in web development. Okay, so that's why we cannot call PHP a general purpose, but we can use PHP, but basically it is not designed like that. Okay, so Python is a widely used general purpose programming language. Okay, and next thing is high level programming language. So what is high level programming language? Suppose that there are basically two types of programming language. First is low level programming language, and second is high level programming language. So low level programming language are basically programming language that directly interact with the operating system. So these are generally byte codes that computer can understand. And high level programming languages are languages that first getting converted into the code that machine can understand, and then it is then executed. So that's why Python is called as a high level programming language. Is this clear, everyone? Okay, so this is the official website. uh, it is not getting so. So it is so I will see in the next slide. Okay, so this is the Python popularity, how much Python is popular. Okay, so this is the data of September 2020, and this table is came from TIOB index. So what is TIOB index? Basically, TIOB index ranks data on the basis of their application in the industries. So you can see that C programming has the rating of 15.95%. It means that most software are written in C, then Java, and then you can see that Python has rank 3. It means that you can see that Python has share of 10.47% in September 2020. It means that 10.47% of all the softwares are written in Python. Okay, so this is how much Python is popular, and you can see that it is getting 0.59% increasing in means it is increasing 0.59% all the year. Okay, now we will we will talk about why Python is used for data analysis. So this is very important slide. Okay, so basically Python has more than 1 lakh 37,000 of libraries. How much libraries? 1 lakh 37,000. So these much numerous libraries of Python are basically responsible that makes Python suitable for general purpose. Okay, and it is also one cause that is basically that makes Python suitable for data analysis. You will find lots of libraries that will be helpful for data analysis, and that much of libraries are not present in any programming language. Okay, so first library is NumPy. Okay, so what is NumPy? It is the fundamental package needed for scientific computing with Python. Okay, so if you talk about NumPy, it is the fundamental package. It means that without NumPy, you cannot perform data analysis. Okay, it is an excellent choice for researchers who want an easy to use Python library for scientific computing. So, scientific computing are basically related to data analysis and performing any mathematical operations. So, basically, the heart of data analysis is mathematical operation. So, you can perform data analysis with the maths. Okay, but these libraries has already implemented that maths for you. You need not try to write maths formulas. So these libraries, so numpy is basically okay. So please hold for 1 minute. Yeah, so numpy is basically a library that basically use arrays arrays and matrices data to perform computing. Okay, so we will see. First, we will first we will cover basic Python. Then we will go to the NumPy, and you will see that it is like if you have previously worked on MATLAB, then you will see that NumPy is like MATLAB, but it is more advanced than MATLAB. Okay, so it has array like data structures that we will use for data analysis. Second is matplotlib. So this library is also very important. It is a 2D plotting library. So two-dimensional graph plots is done by matplot library. Okay, third one is SciPy. Okay, SciPy is basically scientific Python. Okay, so SciPy is a gigantic library of data science packages mainly focused on mathematics, science, and engineering. Okay, so this library is built for mathematics, science, and engineering students or professors or working people that can use these libraries for mathematical operations like regressions, regression optimization. These things can be done using SciPy. If you are a data scientist or engineer who wants to hold kitchen sink when it comes to running technical and scientific computing, you have found your match with SciPy. It means you can see that SciPy is basically a very gigantic library that has like all the mathematical operations that can be used for data analysis. Okay, fourth is scikit-learn. So it is basically a machine learning library. Okay, and it is built on top of SciPy and NumPy. Basically it means that it uses NumPy and SciPy for their computation. Okay, fifth is TensorFlow. Okay, this TensorFlow is really very important part of data analysis, and it is also most famous machine learning libraries for some very good reasons, because it is built by Google. Okay, and it is getting modified. So previously we had keras libraries. Okay, that was used that was basically used for machine learning. But when TensorFlow launched first time, up in the next 4 years, TensorFlow became very famous because it was continuously maintained by Google, and it get lots of modifications. That's why it is very important, and there are lots of projects that are basically written using TensorFlow. Okay, it is specializes in numerical computation using data flow graphs. So we will talk about what are data flow graphs. And next one is pandas. So pandas is really again pandas is again a powerful and flexible data analysis library written in Python. Okay, while not strictly a machine learning library, it's well suited for data analysis and manipulation of large data sets. So pandas basically not used for data machine learning, but it is used for data analysis. For what reason? Basically, if you have lots of data, and if you want to store that data in any variable, then pandas has basically data frames. Okay, these data frames, data structure we can use for uh, storing lots of data. So if you will see that most of the machine learning libraries use pandas for data structure. Okay, so to store data and to perform some operations with that data. So suppose that if you want to get any information from the website, then pandas is really a good choice for getting that information from the website. Okay, so now I will show you one very simple code. Okay, so that is a machine learning code, and it is also we can say that this is a data analysis. This is related to data analysis, and this is related to stock predictions of different companies. You can see here that Sony, Ford, Honda, and based on the previous data of these companies, we are creating a model to predict to uh, to to perform the stock analysis of this company. And you can see that this is only 200 lines of code. Okay, and here we have most of the code, we have comments. And if we'll talk about number of lines of code, so in this project only we have 100 line of codes. If we skip the comments and these variables, this is also a large variable that is taking 60 lines. Okay, so these 100 lines of only 100 lines of code you can use for machine learning project in Python. So you can see that this how much so you can only write 100 lines of code to create a machine learning project in Python. And if you run this, these are basically collecting the data from website. Okay, so now it has created a model. Okay, so this is a so this is basically a data analysis. Then we have JP Morgan. So these are the very famous companies. So these companies stock prediction is done using this code. Okay, so you can see that this much bigger code can be created by using very less line of code in Python. Okay, so in next class we will be installing the Python in our system, and we will start using first we will start with the Python course. Okay, and then we will go to these libraries, and then we will start the data analysis part.